Greetings, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you. In the dog training world, or even the dog ownership world, the word dominance is thrown around every bit as much as the word socialization. But with dominance, there actually seems to be way more confusion. Questions are always asked of me. Do I need to dominate my dog? What if my dog dominates my other dogs? Do I need to be the pack leader? Do I need to be alpha dog? And all the other dogs I have, some of those are definitely the alpha dog. In other words, there's all this dominance. And yet, in many cases, I find that the word is thrown out there without significant meaning. And worse yet, how do I even apply it? So in the next couple of days, I want to do a 3-part series in which I answer the following questions. Do I need to dominate my dog or dogs? What does dominance even look like? What is dominance? And then lastly, when and how should I dominate my dog if I need to? So I'm going to spend time today on answering that very first question. So let me kind of just get these out of the way real quick so we don't focus on those. We're going to focus on the top one. Do I need to dominate my dog? Well, first of all, what is the definition of dominance? Let's just go ahead and make that clear right now. What is it? You look up in any dictionary, you may get a couple of different words, but for the most part, it means power and influence over others. Power and influence over others. Okay, so you're a dog, and that means you don't have the advantage of dialogue or money. So how are you going to exert your power and influence over others? I'll answer that in just a second here. But back to dominance, power and influence over others. Is dominance necessary in my relationship with my dog? In short, absolutely. And let me explain why. Whenever you have group living animals, especially of the predatory type, which is what your dog is, what a wolf is, what you are, you have two types of groups. You have within group, typically your own pack, your own family unit. And then everyone else out there is called between group. That's not big, that's between group. A little hyphen I kind of put in there, in between the two, there, a little backslash there, between the two. So within group and between group. Now, inevitably, in the world in which resources are finite, there's only so many resources. There will arise the occasion that even within group, this person is going to want something from that dog, and that dog is going to want something from that person, and this dog wants something from that dog. And then this whole group over here may want something from this whole group over here. And this whole group may feel the need to defend whatever they have from this group over here. And they have their own little inner scuffles going on. I want what you have. I don't want you to have what I have. That's what makes the world go around. It's called competition. You will covet what your neighbor has. Now, you may use power and influence to try and obtain what your neighbor has or tame like. But a dog, what do they use? What do they use? How do they dominate? Is dominance necessary in their relationship out in the wild or even in your household? And again, the answer is yes. What do they use when they want to take something from another dog? Take something from you. They want to acquire goods and foods. How do they do that? They do it one of 3 ways. Either through instigative aggression, and that's just mostly agonism. That's showing your teeth, walking around, showing that you have the ability to take something if you wish. You display it. You do less resting your head on the nape of another dog. Pushing, being the one to thrash more and influence others, body check them, showing your teeth. It's just moving around, provoked or unprovoked. You're displaying that you were given the biology to give ulcers, not get ulcers. The other tool that you may use to exert your power and influence over the other group members is instrumental aggression. And that's where you have a target, they have something, and you're going to go take it. Period. You've already done your assessment, you've looked at your weapons, your fighting abilities, and you think, I can take that and I will go take that from you. And then lastly, there's hostile aggression. Hostile. That's where the intent is not so much to take something as to just get rid of you. Meaning, I want to injure you. You have just gotten a little bit too big for your britches, and I'm going to take you down a notch. Flat out. Injury is the purpose. Vanquish is the purpose of hostile aggression. So Mother Nature, she's pretty darn smart, and I've said that many times. And she knew, or she had some plan for us predators living together. For some reason, we needed to live together. And she said, what can I do to make sure that we don't have a lot of this instrumental and hostile aggression going on? I got the instigative aggression. So she installed a hierarchy. Hierarchies. What are hierarchies? They're really nothing more than a substitute for, listen to these words, continual aggression. A substitute for continual aggression. Notice I didn't say a substitute for no aggression, because dominance will be in any relationship, any group. It is going to be there whether you like it or not. I know we all have that, I just want to get along. I want my dogs to love each other and to always want to be around each other. But you give it enough time, you introduce enough resources into any ecosystem, and at some point, someone's going to want what someone else has. Or if they see that someone wants what they have, that individual may say, I actually want to keep it. You're not getting it. And so hierarchies were put in place as a substitute for continually fighting over everything, using instrumental aggression and hostile aggression over every darn thing. Instead, why don't you just show that you were given the biology as a producer to be able to give ulcers, to be able to walk around and say, hey, just so you know, if I want that, I can take that. If I need you to do this, you just need to say and ask, how high? How high do I need to jump? You have to have that. You know, I just read an article last night in USA Today in which it stated that empathy and our lack thereof lately. Granted. But here's what I don't agree with. They say empathy is the glue that holds social societies together. Wrong. I could not disagree more, and any biologist, ethologist worth their salt will agree with me and not them. The first thing that has to happen is the lack of chaos, structure, control. Once you have that, then you're not constantly fighting the other members or these other members over here. Because you have control, you have stability. Hierarchies only work by number one feeling like they have 95% control over number two, and 2 to 3, 3 to 4, so on and so forth. 51-49s don't work. They don't work. So before you can start showing empathy, actually caring about this other thing, if it's not your offspring, outside of having an offspring, parent-offspring relationship, before you can even care about someone else, you need to take care of numero uno. Fly on a plane. They tell you those little oxygen things come down. What do they tell you to do? What do they tell you to do? Put it on your own face first. Then take care of the passenger next to you. Agonism is the glue that holds all social societies together because it controls and curtails chaos. And on April 15th, we're about to celebrate the sinking of the Titanic. They the movie by James Cameron, in which Celine Dion sings her song "My Heart Will Go On Forever," and so forth, they depict the sinking of the Titanic, which took 2 hours and 40 minutes and sunk to a depth of about 12,500 feet. And in it, they show, in the beginning, organized disembarking of the ship. And that was true. They had order. They were able to control chaos. But the only reason why is because those people were like a bunch of sheep. They believed that the ship actually wasn't sinking. After all, they've been told, the unsinkable Titanic. But when they finally looked left or looked right and realized, you know what, this bad boy is going down, it's had a really severe tilt here, and I actually think it's going to sink, that was it. Total chaos ensued. Total chaos ensued. Every man, woman for themselves. Lifeboats were deployed that were only half full. They had some that were damaged, destroyed. Some were even empty. It was total chaos. There was no empathy. And I could keep this up all day long. You have to control chaos first so that you're not thinking about your immediate survival. Then you can have empathy for the other ones. Okay, so to answer that question, do I need to dominate my dog? At some point, if you want your dog to come to you and call, for example, to lay down, to remain over there, even though you have company coming in over there, you will have to exert power and influence over your dog. You will have to give them a reason to do that behavior. Why should I lay over here when I want to be with the party over there? You have to exert your power and influence. And with proper training, you can get that thing done all day, every day, with just instigated aggression. Meaning, hey, that's just a look. Like, don't get up. Love you too. But just don't get up. Subtleties. But that's for the next video, when I'm going to go over with you in the next video, what does dominance even look like, and when and how do I use it? How should I use it? So definitely stay tuned for that. But to answer today's question, yes, dominance is required in any sort of group relationship, especially among predators. It will be there, whether you like it or not. And because nature didn't want anyone killing anyone all the time over some little item, she instituted the ability to exert your power and influence over others without having to use fang and claw all the time. So we're not going to do that all the time. We'll also talk about when is dominance found. It's usually found within a context. It's not an all-day job. All right, so stay tuned for the next video, in which we'll get a little bit deeper into dominance. But know this, it's there. It's there. And it's just going to have to be a matter of when you say uncle and when you say give. Give it to me. You've got to be able to exert your power and influence when you need to. We'll talk more about that later. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Man, I love this subject. It's something you definitely sink your teeth into. Okay, that was a bad one to end on. Enjoy the rest of your day.